Alright, what's up guys? Bipolar Dude here, and I kinda like, wow. I kinda like really was just like, yo bro, this lighting sucks, and I was working on it for like, I don't know, like 3 minutes, and so, but like now I'm like, fuck lighting bro. Fuck that shit. Like, y'all just gonna hear what I'm saying, like, I don't need to be like, you know, whatever, but, so this video is tips and tricks on how to prevent. Let's make the camera straight. Tips and tricks on how to prevent full-blown mania slash psychosis. Okay, just mania and psychosis. All right. So it's gonna be a short one, but I want to talk about a couple of things because not a lot of people, not a lot of people get this knowledge from someone who is bipolar on how to manage and deal with kind of trying not to be too happy. I mean, like, that's basically it. I would describe it as like when you're in like a fucking, there's that one person in the anime that's like, man is so powerful that he has to like put a cap on his power to protect and for the safety of the like people. But then they're like, he gets in a battle or something. It's like, I'm not even using 5% of my power level. I'm more scared of me than I am of you. Like, and they're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, dude, just break it. And he like blows him up. Whatever, dude. But anyway, it's kind of what it feels like, though. You kind of have to keep a cap on your power level. Fellow bipolarian, my fellow bipolarian people. Anyway, so to do this though, because, it's for the safety of the people, your family and friends and everybody else, and, you too, like, you have to realize that just because it feels good doesn't mean it's not, like, 100% destructive most times. So, number one tip, and to not getting into a psychosis and mania is take your meds, guys. You gotta take your meds. I mean, this one's the biggest one and the most obvious, but the hardest to do for a lot of people, me included. I don't, if my life was like I could just wake up and not have to take medication to make sure that this shit doesn't get out of control, it would make my life a lot easier. There would be a lot less things to explain, and it would be nice, but because of our power levels, we don't have that much luxury, okay? We gotta keep our power levels in check. So, whether you got an antipsychotic, mood stabilizer, I have olanzapine and lithium, you gotta take them because this bipolar thing, is deceptive as a bitch, okay? It will make you feel safe. It'll make you feel like what you're feeling's okay. Especially when you compare it to other people. You're like, oh, well, I'm just a little loud. Or, oh, I'm like doing this. And then you say, well, that guy's like that. He's loud. He's doing this. But then you forget how you are normally when you're not manic or psychotic. Which, for me, I'm a very calm, cool, collected person. Like, if somebody got in my face and shit, I could very much be the person that's like, okay. And then like leave, or like it doesn't matter to me. But when I'm ramping up into a mania, psychosis, I notice it gets harder to control those emotions, and I can break or snap very easily. And then I'll justify it to myself. It's like, okay, well they were getting under my skin. They were like, fucking anybody would have been angry. Yeah, anybody would have been angry, but you would have been chill about it. Like, you probably wouldn't have got angry, to be honest. You'd probably been like, okay, fine. But like, you just gotta know, I mean, how you are, but also that's the thing, it's just like, bipolar, mania, psychosis, that stuff is deceptive as a bitch. It wants to make you feel safe, like it's all good, and then it reels you in, it keeps reeling you in, even when it's almost too late with how good it feels. It'll keep pulling you in, so you really want to stop it, as soon as you can, and medication is the best way to just make sure that that never becomes a problem. Obviously, it doesn't always fix everything, but it helps. I mean, it helps. When you don't take it, it's a lot worse. So that's the first tip. The second tip though. This is more, these are more mental exercises. Like, has nothing to do with what you take or whatever. But sometimes you can have a really, really good moment. Let's say you get a promotion. Let's say somebody comes in your life that makes you feel really good. Maybe you have some romantic chemistry, something like that. You get this euphoric endorphins, all these things. You know, that can set you off into a mania if you're not careful. My bipolarians, my bipolarians. Anyway, my bipolarians, my bipolarians, my bipolarians. Anyway, so that can set you off. So, you know, when you're in a good place, you gotta be able, like, people with bipolar and mental illness have to be very self-aware. Not everybody has to be self-aware, but you, as someone who has an illness mentally, you have to be very self-aware of your mind, your actions, and everything. Because you are dealing with something that the rest of the world doesn't have to deal with. They just can go on autopilot and be like, oh, well, it's fine. I've always done this. This is who I am. You have to be like, hold up. Am I too happy? Especially like if you're like, oh, I did this, and then you're like, well, you know what, fine, I'll just buy this, or like, it's a good day and I'll do this. You have to be like, hold up, hold up, hold up. Am I losing control of this, my situation and myself? And a good way to do this is think about the week ahead. If you have a job, if maybe someone asked you out to to hang out, maybe you're supposed to clean your room, anything, I don't know. But you have that, and you think about it. You think, okay, well, I have to work 5 days a week. My mom or my dad wanted me to visit, something like that, and I told him I would. You got to think about your responsibilities. I know it sucks to do that when you're happy, but as someone who's bipolar, it really does help to just say, what are my responsibilities for the week? Because even though you're happy and you can like have that controlled happiness, it can be still make you, it can give you a more mature sense of happiness because it's like an added addition to your life. But that's where you got to bring it down and be like, am I being childish about how good this feels? And then you check in with your responsibilities. You can be like, okay, but I still have that to do. I still have that to do. I still have that to do. It's not over. My life isn't perfect yet. I still have goals. So that's a very, very good mental exercise that I do to help. Just think about your next week, and your responsibilities for it. Number 2 is helps with self-awareness. It's very simple. It's just, let's look at the last 48 hours of your life. Just think about them, what they were, and then now think about if someone else was doing that, how healthy do you think they would be? If you're like, okay, well, I only slept for like 2 hours last night, and I kind of was up all day, and I drank coffee, but then I also was super energetic, like jumping around and doing all this, and then, wow, no, I did shout really, really loud at that one guy, and you were very distant. You might be like, hold up, hold up, hold up. I don't know if I would think that person was on kilter. Maybe I would think like something's up with him, especially like if somebody else, because not everybody gets to see every part of your day, but in this exercise you do. So if it's like, okay, if somebody else were to see my whole last 48 hours, would it be a functioning, stable person, or would it be somebody who seems like out of control? So that's another one, just of self-awareness. And if you feel like you are out of control, maybe you would want to talk to your psychiatrist, up your medications. If you're not taking your medications, you should take your medications. But yeah, so all of that. And then but there are definitely other things that you, so well, like, okay, so here's another thing. Another thing you should do to prevent becoming manic or psychotic is definitely drugs. Okay, you should probably stay away from like doing too many drugs because that'll do it. But also, just regardless of that, making too many life changes. Like if you just moved, maybe you just got a new job, maybe you're doing all this and you're like happy, you feel good, maybe cut something, or like somebody comes in, they try and like, or whatever, or, maybe say, hey, look, I'm doing some things. I know this is really hard. Everybody wants like love or whatever, but also, you know, something like, and this is just an example, like if you didn't have all those other new things, then that might be fine. But like I said, like having too much stimulation, maybe you're like, hey, I don't really want to get romantically involved right now. I got a lot of other things going on. I'm trying to make sure that I'm on track with that. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that's really a conversation you have to have with yourself. But like, maybe even if someone's like, hey, let's go to freaking California this weekend. Be like, hey, no. That's gonna set me, like, I've done too many things, that's gonna set me off. Like, just let me chill, let me make sure that I can handle this part of my lifestyle. Then if I get bored, that's one way where you can tell maybe I can make a life change, is when you get bored with life. But like if you're already excited and you're just trying to feed off that excitement, that would be like cool for anybody else, but unfortunately gotta keep a cap on it. Because your power level, you're a part, like your ability, like your cap for happiness is like, unlimited. Like frickin' bipolar people and mania, like our problem is how happy we get, okay? Most people, their problem is how hard it is to get happy. Our problem is how hard it is to not be happy. So, like, we gotta do that. So it's, so that's, like that. I would say listen to your friends and family, okay? Especially the people that know, you have seen an episode or seen, something like a ramp up, have been there for like that whole thing. If they say, hey, look, these are your habits, this is what you're doing, don't get defensive, listen to them. And if they say, hey, I think, maybe you should talk to your psychiatrist, or if they find out you're not taking meds and they tell you to take your meds, just like try, I know it's really hard, but try to not be offended and get defensive and just take it, because those people they do care about you and they're looking out for your best interest. Yeah, dude, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying, is like, because, like, I don't know if you guys watch Naruto, but it's like bipolar disorder is like fucking Itachi from Naruto. He's like the fucking master of genjutsu. Like, you fucking just be fighting it. You're like, oh man, sweet, I'm fucking winning. And then all of a sudden shit just gets weird as fuck. And you're like, wait a second. Am I in a genjutsu? And it's too fucking late, dude. Itachi already fucking, you like looked at his finger or something. He already got you in a fucking genjutsu. And now you can't get out of it unless you fucking know some shit or somebody else gets you out of it. So it's like, yo, bro. And everybody that's watched Naruto knows Itachi is on that next level shit, okay? You gotta watch out for Itachi, man. Itachi's after you. You gotta make sure that you don't get caught up in his genjutsu. So, like, I don't know, I'm going to end it there. I believe that was a lot of, a good amount of tips and tricks. If I remember any other one, I might make a part 2 to this. But anyway, at the end of it all, whatever you do, just don't kill yourself, because it can always get better, guys. Bipolar Dude out.
Look what you created. You thought I could take it, how were you mistaken? I think I am breaking. This is so horrific and it's so ironic. Everything I never wanted, thought it through until I came to the conclusion that there's just no getting through. No use in trying, cry and plead the fifth. I'll be the only one to lose if I try to resist. So don't look in their direction, just pretend they don't exist. And while I fade into oblivion, you'll remain.
Oh, and I said this in Letters to Bipolar, but to a young bipolar, but also like, get your sleep, dude. Get your fucking sleep, dude. Get your fucking sleep, bitch!
We've all got our demons.